Milo, is that you?
There, I think I got it. So are you ready?
Hey, I'm ready.
Let me know when you're ready. 5 minutes, Mr. Marsh. I have a question.
I gotta hurry and finish my last martini.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably time for two.
And
Which you may need for this.
Okay, so if you're wearing the satin smoking jacket and you got, what do you call the thing that goes? What do they call those scarves that go?
The ascot.
The ascot. Yeah, you got your smoking jacket. You got your ascot, and it's probably a satin smoking jacket with a little tie. The little waist tie.
With a little RN backwards RTNT monogram.
Yeah, it's monogrammed over the left pocket. Yeah,
embroidered in orange.
That's right.
So is the smoking jacket the official standard dark green of Ron Strains and Things?
Well, sure, of course. Why wouldn't it be?
I was just asking. I'm a fanboy. Okay,
there you go.
I don't know, Mister. I'm sorry, Mr. Marsh. I was just asking. I get so nervous when I'm around stars. But I just blurt things out. Fortunately,
one of these days we'll get the hang of this and it'll be better, Ron. It's okay.
Fortunately, I'm not around any stars, so I'm not that nervous.
But yes,
back. Oh, that's gone.
That's more than what I'm used to hearing right there.
So what we're doing here is Ron.
Yes.
I know. Yeah. Bruce? Where would Ron? I think Ron should almost be on the supporting crew page by now. Shouldn't he?
I would say he should be.
Yeah, we need a write up, Ron, and a photo, and we'll put you on the supporting crew page.
I think we can arrange that.
Cool. And so because you hang around the studio quite a bit when you're not in the Ron Strains and Things studio. Do you know?
Is that the one over on Lot B?
On what?
On Lot B?
Lot B. Yeah, that's right.
Otherwise known as the backed crack parking lot.
Yeah.
Tree growing up in the middle of it.
Yeah, Lot B. Yeah.
when we're looking out the window of the studio, and there's that building there, just about 500 feet from our building, and it's like one level, and it looks like one of those buildings from a county fair. It's one.
It was made out of old pallets.
Yeah, no, it's made out of steel, but it's one level, and that's where the studio is. Lot B. Yeah, that's Lot B. Let's call that Lot B, or not.
Perfect.
Not Lot Key. Lot B. So, Ron, can you tell me?
Yes.
Do you have any idea at all if this is the first podcast since the last podcast?
I've trying to been keeping a chart here, and yes, I believe it is.
Yeah. Have you been getting the memos, the newsletters?
I get them second or third hand, usually, 2 days late.
Yeah. I was going to say something. Don't tell me what was it. It was something really good. Oh, yeah. So today is Monday, June the 29th. So the reason we've gathered all of us together here, we have Ron Marsh, who is Ron's Trains and Things. And tonight, hopefully, he's going to tell us what the things are and why he couldn't put and. All he did was put an N. Ron's Trains and Things.
I always thought it was backwards there, tritoluene, trinitrotoluene. So.
Oh.
Those are proprietary trade secrets, so I can tell you, but then I might have to kill you.
So are you trying to get this on a personalized license plate, and if you put the full word "and" in there, it wouldn't fit, or is that what?
No, I was trying to be smart as an N-scaler and try to fit something that related to N-scale in the title that seemed.
Oh, I get you.
Not too obvious. Or something.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't obvious to me.
You and anybody else, I don't think.
That's a pretty low bar, though. So, and that kind of blew out of the water now that you're Mr. Model Railroad Academy. I saw an ad for them the other day, and they didn't mention you at all, which I actually found kind of disturbing.
I don't know what to tell you.
It was
a good run while he had it.
Yeah, it was a Facebook ad, and it was a young lady doing a little, like 30 or 40-second video about
Leah. Yeah,
what's her name?
Her name's Leah.
Leah. Leah was doing a little 30 or 40-second video about, what you could get at Model Railroad Academy. So I clicked on it, and I thought, oh, this will be fun, because my buddy Ron will come up on the screen, and he'll be doing something. And everybody but you was on the screen.
I think technically I am in that ad, but only from the wrist down. I think there's actually a clip of my hands doing some scenery work in that, and that's better than my face on camera anyway.
Yeah, so. I'm not sure if it was your hands, because I've kind of studied your videos. And have you ever tried any sort of a cream?
He has hand doubles do all the hard work.
Yeah, hand doubles.
Hand models, yeah.
And stunt hand doubles. All right, so what happened was last week, as we all remember, we did the All-Star Variety Hour number 23, and it featured Josh Bowman, who is our favorite garlic farmer, and it featured Ron Kleiss, all about how he was doing with his business, Mind Mount Models. And at the end, I came up with this brilliant idea that I was going to broker a deal between Mind Mount Models and Ron's Trains and Things. And you know what? The title of your YouTube station is great right until about the halfway point.
I've got half of a good title.
Yeah. Ron's Trains, and then it just deteriorates to In Things.
I was looking for something that would roll off the tongue. Apparently, I failed miserably, but I was trying. That was the goal.
Man, I can hardly wait till we do our next video interview. That's going to be endless amounts of fun.
Well, I just thought starting my video with "Hi, I'm Ron of Ron's Trains and Things" just sounded fantastic in my own head.
Yeah. So anyways, towards the end of this interview, which I really enjoyed, I started to broker this deal between Ron's Trains and Things and Mind Mount Models, where you could build one of Ron's kits, one of his Mind Mount model kits. So I had this great idea. So then I actually got you on the phone on the air, as you remember, and I spoke to you on the phone, and I said, hey, I got this great idea. So then immediately after the interview with Ron, I decided, hey, let's record immediately after the interview with Ron Kleiss. This is very confusing, two Rons. Immediately after the interview with Ron Kleiss, I thought, hey, let's interview Ron Marsh about building a kit. And it's actually a pretty good interview. And it's very interesting about how what all is involved and blah, blah, blah. And then I talked to you about how I brokered this deal. And eventually you guys managed to get together. So what we're about to hear after this rambling introduction is that interview. But I constantly refer to the fact that I just talked to Ron Kleiss, and this is going to be part of that show, and it never turned out that way. So now we have to explain to everybody what we're doing.
Yes, that's exactly how it all went down.
Can you go over that again, please?
Yeah, from the part of hi.
I got lost in the part where we went da.
I think I spoke about that somewhere. That's one of my favorite bits. You're at a golf tournament or something, and or a poker tournament. I do it to my buddy Gary Tessero all the time, and he runs this poker tournament with about 35 people. Talks about the rules for 2 or 3 or 4 minutes, and then once every 6 months, he say, "Is there any questions?" I put up my hand, and he still innocently asks me, "Yes, Lionel." I'll say, "Could you explain that part just after you said, oh, hey, welcome everybody?" Apparently, I'm the only one that thought that was funny.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. I was laughing hysterically.
That is the worst part about doing this is the dead silence afterwards.
The crickets.
Yeah, but I got canned laughter now. So how is this
There you go.
How is this going now? It's been a whole week since I brokered this deal, since last Monday. So how's this been going?
Well, I made contact with Ron Kleiss, and we talked a little bit about this process, and we were both excited about it. And he, in turn, sent me some great stuff to review. And I haven't built the kits yet, but looking forward to it. He sent me one of his, it's Randy's Auto Repair. Of course, this is HO scale stuff, which is not my usual thing, but I've been wanting to do some HO scale stuff on the channel anyway. It's a great opportunity to start that. So he sent me Randy's Auto Repair, which is a really nice looking laser cut Craftsman kit. And he also sent me some detail kinds of things, some laser cut sidewalks. I've never used wood sidewalks before. That'll be interesting. And also he has a laser cut industrial rack for like piping or lumber or whatever, which will, I think, go really great along the outside of the Randy's Auto Repair. And so I literally actually have those right here at hand at the moment, and looking forward over the course of the next few weeks to building these and making some video and getting it up. And it'll be some good publicity for him, and also some great opportunity for me to get to build a really cool HO scale kit for the channel. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Are you going to have to change your logo to backwards RTHOT then?
Yeah, HOT. That's it. That's from TOT to HOT.
Ron's trains ho things.
Yeah, I don't think that doesn't quite roll off the tongue the same way.
Well, I got bad news for you. In things doesn't really roll off the tongue either. Any word on the things?
The things. Well, this week the things are garage doors. The things change constantly. No, honestly, when I named it, what I had in mind was doing more of a variety kind of a channel where I did, some model railroad stuff, but I also was going to do some prototype railroad stuff, and I was going to do, review tools and just a whole variety of stuff related to model railroading. So that's where the things came in. It turned out that everybody liked the how-to stuff, and the other stuff kind of died every time I published it. So I kind of quit most of the other stuff and stuck with the how-to for the most part.
It's probably not a bad thing, because I think Dr. Zeus covered the things pretty good when he's talking about thing 1 and thing 2.
Right, yeah.
The whole time you're saying that, I'm thinking, some impressions, maybe a little Sammy Davis, Candyman. Maybe Johnny Carson. That's a popular one. Frank Gorshin. He was great. A little soft shoe. You could do a little soft shoe.
Yeah, because I'm built for the soft shoe.
Yeah.
I'm light on my feet.
Hey, baby. Do a little Sammy Davis for us.
I don't think we better go there.
Yeah. A little song, a little dance, a little seltzer down your pants.
There you go. Greatest bit I ever saw. I still say it's the greatest TV show comedy bit I ever saw. Was the Tim Conway show. It was like taken off from Carol Burnett, and it was just a 1 hour comedy variety show like they had back in the early '80s, and he had the June Taylor dancer. You remember they used to have way back in the 70s, they had the June Taylor dancers, and there'd be these 12 or 13 scantily clad young women, and they'd do all these dances, and one of them was they'd lay on the floor and they'd make what looked like a starfish or something. And then and Tim Conway had the June Taylor dancer.
One.
Because it was a low budget show.
So she made a star by herself.
Yeah, she just laid on the floor and moved around. It's hilarious. Hey, it made me laugh anyways. Apparently I was the only one, but
Conway was a hilarious guy.
Yeah.
Particularly when he and Harvey Korman got going on the Carol Burnett show.
Yeah. What's the latest on Model Railroad Academy anyways? What's the latest thing you've done with them?
Well, I'm currently working on once a quarter, I do a course, 4-part series on for their platinum membership level, And I'm currently working on one of those, and we're talking about a variety of different kinds of trees, from detailed trees, up front, to background trees, making some deciduous trees, some pine trees, just a little bit of everything on trees. I'm working on that right now. We're working on doing some things to kind of improve our live streaming. So I've been kind of on pause with the live streams with them on Facebook for a couple of weeks as we try to get a few things ironed out there. And then again, some of the other stuff I had been doing, kind of traveling to Minneapolis. Well, that's been a little bit on hold here of late for reasons that we all know. So the platinum course is the big thing right now that I'm doing with them. Looking forward to doing some more of their kind of standalone classes that we record that are, you don't have to subscribe. You can purchase those and you own them forever. I did one on bench work. I'm looking forward to doing one on water features coming up here in the next couple of months. So that's kind of where I am with them at the moment.
All right.
But
no, go ahead. I was going to say something. It couldn't have been that interesting.
I think that was it.
Oh yeah, how did you like last week's show with Ron Kleiss and Josh Bowman?
It was a fantastic show.
That's good. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah.
What did you think, Bruce?
I was stunned by the quality of it. Excellent as per usual.
So I'm on your YouTube channel. You can join up and get extras.
Yes.
And
channel membership.
Yeah, let's plug that baby, because I know you sucked me in. I mean, you saw me coming from a distance.
Yes, I got channel memberships on the YouTube channel. It's three tiers there, and you caught me off guard, so I got to make sure that I kind of get this right. But depending on what level you join at in the channel membership, you can get everything from some extra posts and behind the scenes things that I do regularly through the community tab. I try to post at least 3 or 4 behind the scenes kind of videos of things that are happening or things that are coming up on the channel.
Would you like me to help you?
Go ahead.
Would you like me to help you?
Sure.
If you're
great.
If you're an RTNT member, you get loyalty badges next to your name and comments and live chat, behind the scenes videos, members only community posts. But if you're an insider, you get insider only live streams, which
as well as all the other things that you just mentioned.
Yeah, which apparently I have. When are those live streams? Well, you saw me coming from. I am the only guy that signed up, right?
No, not at all. I got you and one other guy.
Yeah. for on the Patreon, the what do we call this? Modeler's Life Patreon channel. Every week you get a brand new podcast. All I've gotten so far in the last week is, I hope you all had a good Memorial Day weekend. Like, Jesus, if I'd known all I had to do is write a couple of paragraphs every week and get people to send me money, I'd be laughing.
Look back. There is more than that on there now.
Oh, okay, all right. Oh, yeah.
Now I've got to pull it up and see what so I can make sure that I get it right.
You got 27,000.2 subscribers now. It climbs constantly.
It's yeah. Of course, winter is always it's kind of model railroad season, so it tends to grow a little faster in the wintertime than in spring and summer. It slows down a little bit, but of course this year with everything that's happened with the COVID-19, a lot of people shut up at home. A lot of people having time to watch a lot of YouTube stuff. It really saw some significant growth at a time of year that I don't normally, which was nice. And that's starting to slow down a little bit here as we go through the summer, but still doing really, really well. And people seem excited about it, and I'm excited about that. So. And
I think when we did our thing, when we did our little ditty, we were at 25. You were at 25,000 subscribers, 25 and a half or something. Now you've in short period of time, you're all the way up to 27 point. You're only like 2,800 subscribers away from 30,000.
Yeah, right now I've been gaining, if I may be so bold as to say so. About 1,000 subscribers a month at the moment is kind of the growth rate right now. again, I look for that to slow down a little bit in the summer. It usually does, but it'll pick right back up in the fall. And it's exciting stuff.
It is exciting stuff. Well, we've managed to kill 20 minutes. I think that when we add that, when the other thing is 45 minutes, so there, boom, we got over an hour. And this is free stuff. You don't even have to pay for this. This is on the free channel.
Bonus.
Yeah. So when Emery Lehman is coming back or going to or coming from one of his, he's a locomotive engineer on the BNSF in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Or our buddy Clem Harris. These guys we will have just wasted 21 minutes of their life. Sorry, Clem.
You're welcome, guys.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
Yeah. Or Craig Grenkow, who's recovering. You're trying to recover. Get better, Craig. You're annoying me, Craig. Get better, buddy. So anyways, this is cool. So it's all right. So do you know what to do next? So now we're going to listen to the original show. I wanted to introduce it. So let's just recap. What's coming up is the second half of when I brokered this deal, and I've now become the model railroad brokerer, the guy that makes the deals. Oh, did you want to review something from Tangent Scale Models? I could probably work that deal.
That'd be really, really interesting. I'd be interested to see what you can work out there. That'd be fantastic.
You want me to work on that? I'm kind of getting into the swing of it.
Yeah, you should work on that.
Have you ever met or do you know of? There's a guy in Plattsburgh, Missouri. His name's Tony Cook. He's the editor of Model Railroad News. Have you ever read that magazine?
I've heard of it, and yeah, I think we've met somewhere along the line.
Okay, yeah, because I could probably talk to him for you too.
You're a little late on that one, or you already did on that one.
Yeah, I already did. Yeah, there you go.
That's been in fact, recently did kind of the third review for Model Railroad News of some Broadway Limited equipment. Did some locomotives and also their Rolling Thunder sound system. Which was fun because I had no experience with Broadway Limited whatsoever. So that gave me an opportunity to kind of see what they have to offer.
And also I brokered that deal for you with scaletrains.com.
You okay.
Well, didn't you review? Are you reviewing stuff for them?
As a matter of fact, yes.
Well, how do you know I didn't do it?
Lionel, the great review broker.
Yeah, there you go. All right, do you know what to say now? We come to this part where we go from one segment to another, and it's very clean and crisp. And do you know what to say?
I believe I do.
All right, do it.
Subway chime, go.
There you go. Stick with me for the changes and try to keep up.
Hey, Chuck, yeah. It's your cousin Marvin. Yeah. Marvin Berry.
Yeah, I got that new visa.
I love that movie.
That's a great movie.
Basic blues transitions and keep going.
Yep.
Yeah. What the heck?
You made a time machine out of a DeLorean? Well, I figure you're going to time travel. You might as well do it in style.
Do it in style.
Why are you wearing a life vest?
You keep saying heavy. Is there something wrong with the world's gravity in the future?
Hey, you, get your damn hands off her.
Biff.
No, because if you're going to go that way, then I still have an unanswered question. It's a 3-hour tour. You're only going an hour and a half out of port. How can you not know that there's a storm so strong that it's going to blow you miles and miles off course when you're only an hour and a half?
It's like one of those Bermuda Triangle things.
Okay.
It was the 60s. What do you expect?
And why did they have so much damn clothing on such a little boat?
Yeah. None of it makes any sense.
I mean, yeah, but you know, Mr. Howell had extra clothing. All the women had extra clothing, but Gilligan, the skipper, and the professor all had the same outfits through the entire run of the series.
On a 3-hour tour.
On a 3-hour tour.
And
the batteries in that radio lasted for however many years.
And the tiny ship was tossed.
If not for the courage of the fearless crew,
the minnow would have been lost.
Yep.
The minnow would be lost.
The minnow would be lost. There's 2 minutes.
Hi, Ron. How you doing?
2 minutes.
I'm good. How are y'all?
We're just discussing the good old days of Gilligan's Island. What are your thoughts on that great show?
I love Gilligan's Island. It was before its time. I should say it really was before my time, but I remember it in syndication.
It was before its time. Well, then what did you think of Get Smart? Was it a little ahead of its time too? Should it have been more in the 80s?
Well, it came back in the 80s in the form of Inspector Gadget, so maybe so, yeah.
Well, now here's another one. Of course, on Gilligan's Island, Jim Backus played the millionaire.
Yes.
What else did he play in those days?
Gosh, he played
Mr. Magoo.
Mr.
Magoo. Yeah, I knew. That's right. Yeah.
Oh, Magoo, you've done it again.
3 minutes.
And Bob Denver was Maynard Krebs from Dobie Gillis.
Yeah, that was quite a stretch from that to that. You know, Don Adams never really, his career, he was stuck as Maxwell Smart for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
He also did the voice for, what cartoon character he did the voice for?
And I've told this story before.
A penguin guy or some with the walrus sidekick.
Was he Tennessee Tuxedo?
Tennessee Tuxedo.
Oh, yes.
Don Adams, yes.
With Underdog and all those good ones.
Chumley, the walrus.
Hey, Tennessee.
Hey,
Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat. Okay. Nothing up my sleeve. Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
Now that was a great show with all the innuendo in there. That when you watch this, and thought, going, how did they get away with that?
Sunday. Did you hear? Hey, Tom, have you heard that show where I actually took your?
I've heard it a few times.
A few times. Oh, somebody's in love with their own voice, not just me.
No, I heard it on a couple different episodes. I think there were 2 where I heard it.
Yeah. So now you have to make another one.
I have to think of another one. That's really the only one that I've ever come up with, and that started as a joke all the way back in high school.
Well, then just do that one again. It's great. Now we'll do it as finished production.
Oh, okay.
Sunday.
But we're not here to talk with me. We're here to talk with Ron.
Ron Marsh. We have brought Ron Marsh into this studio as Ron Kleiss leaves the studio, and he gives him a little wave, and they're talking outside. We saw him in the hall. We said, hey, don't talk. I'm going to complete this deal. So Ron Marsh has now joined us. It's Bruce the moderately agitated mailboy is still here.
Yes.
Secret Agent 0013, a.k.a. the Queso Cowboy, Tom Jacobs, is still here. And now we've been joined by, and this is an AML Variety Hour, Ron?
Yes.
And the theme of this Variety Hour is modelers known as Ron. For 400. I'll take modelers known as Ron, Alex, for 400. This
one of these is associated with N things.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. Sometimes you'll want to watch this in things.
Brought to you by the letter N.
Yeah. Who is Ron Marsh? So anyways, we had Ron Kleiss in here because we were talking to him about, and it's April 16th that we're recording this. So then we had Ron Kleiss in here, and we were talking to him about his most recent release, which is Tom's Hot Dogs. And he's really excited about it. And Tom Jacobs is really excited about it because basically the Tom of Tom's Hot Dogs is Tom Jacobs.
Yes.
Even though I tirelessly promote his company, it's Tom Jacobs that got named out. But in fairness to Ron Kleiss, Lionel's Hot Dogs just doesn't roll off your tongue.
Maybe one of these days he'll make a model of a model railroad shop, and it'll be Lionel's Railroad Shop.
There, wow.
There you go.
Just
a hint.
What a show this is. Yeah.
It'd be like Lionel's Trains and Things or something.
Lionel's Trains and Things. Perfect.
So at the end of it, we got talking about how he's so good at his instructions, and then he has put on his website a couple of PDF files about how to do certain aspects of his models, of his buildings, and his kits. And then I think, Tom, I believe it was you that asked him about a YouTube video. Was it not?
Yes, it was.
And as he's asking about YouTube, because Ron is very, Mr. Kleiss is very adamant about producing a quality product and adamant about making it easy for people to build. And we all agree, Mr. Jacobs and Mr. Wilson agree that his product is quality. So then we got talking about, hey, you should do a YouTube channel, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, it hit me like a ton of bricks. It hit me like a runaway. It hit me like a herd of buffaloes are galloping across the plain. It hit me like a basket of runaway grapefruit coming down the stairs.
Hey, I know a guy with a YouTube channel.
I said, yeah. Hey, I know a guy with a YouTube channel, a very successful YouTube channel, who actually does all of the how-to of YouTubes for AML, the Modeler's Life.
Absolutely.
So I said, you know what you should do, Ron, is you should send a kit like Randy's repair shop or speed shop or whatever it is to Ron Marsh, and he could build this kit doing one of his YouTube videos or two or whatever it is. And I said, the two of you are going to help each other because Mr. Marsh will get something to do and Mr. Clace will get exposure on your channel. And I thought, this is great. So you know what I did then?
You called me.
I picked up the phone and I called you and we discussed it and you seemed enthused and Mr. Clay seemed enthused. So then I thought, oh my God, this is going to be a first in Modeler's Life and the AML network.
On top of that, you may have just started a brand new career for yourself, collaboration consulting.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, except Ron, Mind Mount Models, Ron, was very accepting of the thought, and you were very accepting of the thought, and then, or I think you're going to be. And then I thought, well, that's easy. I don't think I would do that well with people I have to talk into it. What are you laughing at, Jacobs?
Well, it's always it's always easier when the joke writes itself.
Yeah. It's comedy that writes itself. That was an interesting tidbit we came up with in the first segment of this show. Was that do you know why we have so many podcasts and some of them don't get put out for 2 or 3 months? And you know how we managed to do that, Mr. Marsh?
How's that? How is that?
We keep the podcasts in the fridge and we keep them cool so we can keep them fresh.
So they're always fresh. Gotcha.
Yeah. So they're always fresh. So
just like your cottage cheese and your batteries.
Yeah. Does that really work with batteries?
I don't know. People always said it did. I've never really done it, so I don't know.
In the film days of when I used to use film for my cameras, that's what I kept my film was in the fridge because that works.
Yep, used to do that too. Yep.
I was a Fujichrome guy. Instead of Kodachrome, I was a Fujichrome guy, and I think I was a Fujichrome guy because not far from my house there was a store called Japan. There was a franchise that used to be in Canada called Japan Camera.
Yep.
And the guy could process my slides within like an hour, which made it a lot easier to write stuff because then you weren't sitting around for days and days waiting to get your slides back.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway,
I was never a slide guy.
No.
I could never. I don't know why. I always did film, and I was always a Kodachrome guy or a Kodak guy. And I remember one time, and my, you always got the faster film speed for lower light levels. And I remember one time going to my first Railfan trip where they did photo run-bys and they did a night photo session with a restored Redding FP7. And the photographer, he had the flash and he was, how it is, everybody gets in the line and then, he was telling you what f-stop to set your camera to for different film speeds. And he was calling out all these really, really low ASAs for the people that were doing slide film. And I knew it was going to be at night. So I got a roll of 1,000 speed film. And I said, what about 1,000 speed? And you could just hear the snickers and the chuckles rising among the foamers. What's this newbie doing with 1,000 speed film? So,
yeah, exactly. They would never tell you. They'd just go, oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And what did you finally? So it was too grainy, wouldn't it have been?
Yeah, it was basically just shot like that because he would go around with the flash unit and would paint the engine with light, and it just even I had it stopped down as much as possible. It just got all washed out.
Yeah, cool. Bruce, do you have any stories of night photography?
Not really, but in the end, I used to shoot. It was actually 35 millimeter movie film that I sent away to whatever company, but they processed slides out of it, and I also got like a negative back. So it was kind of a interesting. I forget the name of the company, but it was 35 mil movie film that they would send to shoot and process, and you get slides and negatives back.
I even had my own darkroom for a while. I could do my black and white film, which was kind of neat, actually.
I used to manage a darkroom when I was in college.
Oh, did
The
you?
photo mart?
No, I've been into photography since I was in high school, and
nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Yeah, yeah.
right. Pictures, photographs, No, and when I was in college, for a year in college, I worked for the art department, and I ran the darkroom for the kids that were in the photography classes. So, I would go and make sure all the chemicals were mixed and make sure that they had all their supplies and everything. And kind of in exchange for that, I got to do the same thing. I got to process my own film, black and white, and I got to, use the equipment for my own purposes. So it worked out well.
Processing black and white film is actually a lot of fun and not too terribly difficult. It's when you get to color that it gets a little more complicated.
Yeah. Color is a lot more time and temperature sensitive. So what the students would do is we had a color enlarger and a color print processor. So the students would take their color film, they would take it to the photo lab, and they would get the film processed downtown, and then they would make their prints and do their exposures and everything in the darkroom.
Wow, that's cool.
Because the exposure in the printing isn't as finicky as the actual film processing.
That's kind of neat. Yes, you're right. I was thinking of something else, so I wasn't entirely paying attention there, so I apologize. You want to repeat all of that from just after you said, "Hey"? That is one of my favorite jokes. That is one of my. I got three go-to jokes in my life that never fail. You'll be at some sort of a instructional class, or they do it at poker tournaments or golf tournaments or whatever. Guy'll stand up. He'll do his spiel for 3 or 4 minutes about the rules and, today's golf tournament, it's this hole you can do, you can move your ball, blah, 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 or a poker tournament, they go over the rules or whatever it is. And the guy gets to the end and he says, "Is there any questions?" And depending on the crowd, and regardless, a lot of times, regardless of the crowd, I put up my hand, he'll go, "Yes." And I said, "Could you repeat the part after you said your name?" Could you repeat the part after "Hi, I'm Bob"? I think it's funny. Apparently, it's not quite as funny as I thought. Oh, come on. You got to be there. But imagine never mind. It's like being at a sporting event and yelling, "Hey, is Dave here?"
Or at a hobby shop in Boston.
No, that was Gordy, wasn't it?
I don't know.
That was Gordy.
Gordy.
Yeah, you guys should tell that story because I think you probably have a different take on it than I do. But
I have a great take on it because I wasn't there. So
yeah, exactly. We'll have Tom tell that story. So, Ron.
Yes.
Hi. You thought we forgot about you, right?
Not at all.
Okay, you've heard the podcast before.
I've listened to the show before. Yes.
So do you get it? Like the guy does this whole spiel, and then he says, "Any questions?" And I go, "Yeah." Can you repeat the part after you said, "Hi, my name's Bob"? Like, nobody. Oh my goodness!
I get it. I love it.
No, you don't. Yeah, well, I'll do it. You know what? I'll do it for you someday. Then you'll get it.
You just did with Tom. That's like
Yeah,
You see, Lionel, this is the part. The fact that you might edit this,
yeah, yeah,
you could slip the cricket sound in.
yeah, yeah. So we talked to Ron Kleiss, and he was quite intrigued by the idea of sending you a kit and having you assemble it in one of your YouTube videos. How does that sound to you?
I think it sounds like an awesome idea. Those kind of collaborations are fantastic, really, with any kind of media platform. But YouTube, those work really, really well. I think it'd be good for my channel and some good publicity for mind mount models as well. And I've never actually done a mind mount model kit, but I'm familiar with their stuff from their website. They've got really, really nice models that he has marketed there, and all of them would look great. Plus, the timing is kind of gratuitous for me because as a freebie, but through Model Railroad Academy, I've been doing a little kind of a basic craftsman kit. And so this would allow me to kind of build on that basic thing that I've done for Model Railroad Academy on the free side on my own channel. Okay, yeah, we've done the basic thing. You can go watch that and get some of the basics. Here's something that's a little more advanced and a little more detailed. So that would be a lot of fun. And yeah, I'd love to do that. And I look forward to talking to Mr. Kleiss about that some more.
So what I'm going to do is after this show is over, I'm going to message both of you guys together, and I'm going to say, okay, have at it, and then you guys can arrange the details, and maybe Ron can send you 2 of every kit he's got.
Well, we'll work that out.
Yeah. How many shows do you think? How many videos would you do it in one video? Would you do it in a couple? Do you think? Because it's not. Do we have any idea of how intricate, say, this Randy's garage is? What's it called again exactly?
Randy's Auto Repair.
Randy's Auto Repair. Yeah, it looks like it's it's not a super complicated kit, but it certainly is not a. It certainly takes some sort of. It's not super complicated, but it's going to build into a really nice kit. So, how long do you think it would take you to build? Would you do it over 2 videos? Would you do it over 3? How do you? And I have another follow-up question, if I may, sir, after you answer that.
Sure, and I'm actually looking at that particular kit on their website right now, and I mean it's a nice kit, but it's not like you said, not incredibly complicated. I'd say there's a good chance we could do that in one video. But I also, if it took 2 to do it, I mean, I try to keep my video length. I try to keep it to around 15 minutes, or at least between 15 and 20. And if I needed more than that to really show the process, then we would just make 2 videos out of it. And I wouldn't have an issue with doing that either.
Okay. And how many times do you think you'd mention me during this, because it was actually my idea?
Oh, at least 12.
Perfect. But that wasn't my follow-up question. So I actually have what I think may be an interesting question. And Bruce and Tom, please feel free to jump in and assist me with this.
I'm sorry, sir. We're time and running short. You're only allowed 1 follow-up question. Next question from the audience, please.
So how would you go about figuring out how to video this? Because, it's going to obviously take longer than 20 minutes to do. And if you do 2 shows, it's going to take longer than 35 or 40 minutes. So how do you go about this? Do you get the kit, take it, get it all laid out, and then kind of go, okay, I'm going to, and you follow the instructions, but how do you manage, how do you do it? Do you record a lot more stuff than you use, or what?
Yes, the short answer there is yes. Of course, anytime I do a kit like this, I start with the unboxing. I try to give the people, the viewers, an experience of the model, the kit, from beginning to end. So I start with unboxing the thing and showing them, okay, here's exactly what you get and what it looks like when it comes out of the box. And then, I would film almost every minute of the process. That's probably a little bit of an exaggeration. But I would film a lot more than I would actually show. Just like, well, for example, I'm looking at the kit. When it comes to painting, and if I did, something to do like some weathering or some peeling paint, I'd show them how I did that on one or two walls, not on the whole thing. When you go to installing windows, I'd show them how I glaze a window and how I install a window with one or two. They don't have to see all of them in order to see that process. Then when I go to edit, I kind of edit that down, figure out exactly what I want to include, and I write a voiceover script whenever I do this kind of a project, and record that separately, and then edit the video and the voiceover together. I find it makes a lot better video than trying to narrate it as I go. If I'm trying to narrate this as I go, I'll find that I'll talk the entire time that I'm working, and I'll say the same thing 12 times, and nobody really wants to hear me say the same thing 12 times. So that just tends to make for a better video that way.
Okay. Can you just explain to me the part just after unboxing the kit?
You're right. It is funny.
So, okay. So you say you write a script, like for the voiceover, like kind of in point form kind of thing?
As far as like bullet points, is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, like, I mean, you say you write a script. Like, I mean, obviously, I think everybody, there's no point in hiding anything. This show is completely scripted from start to finish. But I mean,
right. We're on page 14 right now. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
14. Okay.
So do you write do you write out that sounds like a hard job to me.
That is the most time consuming job of the whole video making process for me whenever I am doing this kind of a video, because I have to go through. What I do is I go through all of the footage that I've shot, and I make notes. Okay, and of course I've shot this. Let's say I've shot this process in 15 different video clips. So what I'll do is I'll make a note and I'll write, okay, I'll put the video clips by their name, which is just numbers as they come out of the camera, in the order that I want to use them in the video, and then under each one of those, I'll make some notes by hand as to what I did and what I want to make sure that I explain or say about that particular part of the process. And then I sit down at a computer and I type that whole thing out literally word for word. That way it comes across as a fairly polished thing. And then I sit down with a microphone and just read it into a recording, and then I can chop it up and intersperse it with the video from there.
And is it I'm assuming because your videos are so good, it generally the whole thing's a fairly enjoyable process?
Well, as with any kind of a process, there are parts that you enjoy more and parts that you enjoy less. I would say the writing of the voiceover is probably the least favorite thing that I do. But it's necessary because I've made videos and just narrated as I went, and I wasn't pleased with, I didn't even want to watch them, 'cause I get tired. You tend to use a lot more verbal pauses, the ums and the ahs and the ers, when you hear all those, and I just have a tendency to talk and run on sentences all spliced together with the word and after I hear myself say and 27 times in a row, I just want to throw the computer out myself. So if I don't want to listen to it, I know nobody else does. So if I do this, if I just suffer through, writing and recording the voiceover that way, I just find it makes a lot better video. And so it's not my favorite part of the process, but it's an important part of the process. So I do it.
Do you have several ideas lined up in a row kind of thing, or do you kind of how do you manage to, I see lately you've done a couple of reviews of Broadway Limited locomotives, so that would be something you'd work on, and then it looks like you try to put out a video every week.
That's what I try to do, yes.
Yeah, and it seems like you're pretty successful with that. I mean, I see you're up to 25,600, approximately 600 subscribers, so that's pretty cool.
Yes, yeah.
The thing is just growing steadily now, eh?
Yeah, it is. And of course, this time of year, from around Thanksgiving up till about the 1st of May, is usually the best time of year. I mean, it's when people are doing the most model railroading, and so it's usually the best time of year for the channel growth. And of course, all that's been happening in the world here this spring had people watching a lot more video because they had the time to do that. And so, almost feel bad feeling like I gained from that somehow, but that actually saw some significant channel growth as a result of that. But as far as ideas are concerned, that varies a little from time to time. I keep a list of projects that I plan to make videos about, and as I have an idea, I'll jot it down on there. Usually, I have 3 or 4 projects going at a time. That was true when I was model railroading, even before I made videos. But I usually have 3 or 4 that I'm making video about. And so when that's the case, usually whichever one is getting closest to done is going to be the one I'm going to focus on to get out next. Now, like the reviews, those come along whenever I have the opportunity. I mean, the reviews I've done up until this time have been just things that I have purchased and wanted to do some reviews on. So when I got it, I made a review and published it. The BLI items I've been doing some videos about, those, of course, came to me from Tony Cook at Model Railroad News, because they were some items that BLI had sent to them to write reviews about, and then he passed them on to me to make some videos about. So those I actually had on hand for 3 or 4 weeks, I guess, before I got to making the reviews, just because I was in the middle of some other projects already. But basically, most of the time, I'm making videos about whatever it is I'm doing on my layout. Right now, I've got a scratch build project that I started, and it's a long series. I made 2 videos about that project a year and a half ago, and I'm just now getting back to it. I'm going to finish that thing and get videos out about it. I've got a locomotive that I'm in the process of weathering, and of course, anytime you're weathering, you do a little bit and then you let it dry for a day. So when I get that done, I'll have that one coming out here before too long. There's 2 or 3 other things on my workbench as well.
So and how do you keep them straight on your computer? Like, I know what that was the one thing when I started this podcast, being the way I know I am, I thought to myself, if I'm not diligent about keeping this organized, it's going to become a disaster in a hurry.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of, I'm not a neat freak in the real world, but I'm definitely a neat freak in the virtual world. I can't stand to have to search a computer for what I'm looking for. So what I do is, of course, I have 3 different cameras that I shoot stuff with. And basically at the end of every day, whatever I've shot, I take the SD card right to my computer and put it in the appropriate file. And basically for all those, I have a file of my raw video footage, and everything I'm going to use in a particular video, I'll put in one file folder. And those are labeled in a folder by year, and under the year by month, and then under the month by the subject of the video. And so everything, my main footage, my B-roll, any images I use, my thumbnails, the audio, edited audio files, all those will go in one folder, so that when I go to edit it, I can just call everything out of that folder into the editor, and I'm ready to go.
Cool. So what do you think? So this is sounds to me like it's a done deal, pretty much. I felt confident that a gentleman, Mr. Jacobs, Mr. Wilson, I feel confident that we've managed to create something pretty exciting for the model railroad world. Would you not say?
I think so. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, imagine when we're watching this. You know what? The 3 of us should have a watch party.
There you go.
There you go. Well, you could do it on. Well, I don't know where you do it on Facebook.
Well, we could do it in Tom's.
We could do a play-by-play of Ron's video. Okay, he's opening the box now. Oh, he's pulled out the first pieces. Look at that. Oh, they look pretty exciting. He's looking like he's enjoying. Well, let's see what he really thinks. Oh, yeah, he says it's quality stuff.
You should video that.
Yeah. Well,
it's like whenever you buy a movie in the extended edition, special edition DVD set, and you have the actor's commentary over the movie. Director's commentary, yeah.
Yeah, right there where you think we should probably video that and put it in instead of keeping it out.
All right, so it sounds to me like this was I am thrilled with this whole thing. It just happened. It just literally happened.
That's the way the best things usually are.
Yeah.
The ones that fall into your lap.
Tom's being pretty quiet now. I'm afraid he's loading up on queso.
Nope.
It's the queso cowboy. I love that.
Got the queso coma going now.
Nope. I'm good. I'm just listening. This is great.
Yeah,
I want to go. One of these days, I want to do something on Facebook Live. I just can't figure out what.
yeah, you could do. See, the problem is everybody. We're going to close this up in a minute, but everybody thinks too much to death because in this new world, people, if you like Tom, people would eat that crap stuff.
Oh, so now
Okay.
it comes out. Okay, yes.
Well, that's the way I talk when I'm
Okay.
not recording a podcast. People would eat that stuff up when you have no idea how interesting you are, Tom Jacobs.
Yeah, Tom, you could always go, I think, with whatever it was. It's a little song, a little dance, a little seltzer in your pants.
People would be really interested to see you walking around your layout and seeing where everything is in relation to where everything else is. Like you don't need it to be spectacular. Like, I mean, I make these goofy videos answering the phone and people love them. And it's like,
Those make my day.
and like, okay, I maybe I have a knack for that, but Tom, you have a knack for building this layout that I don't think you realize how interesting it is. It's truly, truly interesting. I mean, I enjoy the photos you post and everything. I think you should just grab that phone and walk. And the trick is, don't do them too long. A minute, 2 minutes. Just walk around for a couple minutes, tell people stuff, and then close it up. And then, you're leaving them wanting more, and you don't become boring because it hasn't been that long.
Right.
Yeah, he doesn't seem too impressed with this idea.
No, I want to. I just haven't. I need to just do it.
Just do it, man. Just do it. Just do it.
What you got to do is you just got to come to grips with the fact that if I'm going to make some videos, the first 3 or 4 are going to suck, and that's okay. Just let them. You can go to the big early days of my channel, and I've left them on there just to prove how far I've come because they were so horrible. I didn't know how to focus a camera, and they're just awful stuff. But that's okay because a man by the name of G.K. Chesterton years ago made this profound statement. He said, anything worth doing is worth doing badly. Which his whole point was, if there's something's worth doing, you got to start. You're going to do it bad at first, but just bite the bullet, get the bad ones over with, and get started.
Yeah.
Right.
How much longer, Ron, do you think it'll be before, we've been doing this 5.5 years now, and we don't seem to be making any progress. What do you see for the future?
I guess that depends on what kind of progress you're looking for.
I'm looking for anything at this point. I'm desperate.
That was a very diplomatic answer, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, we'll tell people a little bit behind the scenes. I do refer to you as Ward Cleaver. I mean, you're Ward Cleaver, and I'm Eddie Haskell. Let's face it. Hello, Mrs. Cleaver. You look lovely today. If you and I went in for a job at Best Buy, they'd hire you every single time. We could have exactly the same qualifications. You would get the job every single time. And they'd be like, thanks for coming, Lionel. We really appreciate your application. But we feel you're very, very qualified, but we found somebody else for the job.
We've decided to go a different direction.
Yeah, we decided to go a different direction. And it's not Dusty Little Guy. Oh, dear. We do have fun at Lionel's Little Playhouse here. Okay, so I think that's it, boys. Have we covered it? Seems like
we got it. Sounds like a done deal.
Seems like we've sealed the deal. Tom, you're in the insurance game. Can you put some sort of a rider on this in case it all blows up?
You mean like an indemnification where everybody holds everybody else harmless and everybody has to pay their own damages and things like that? Yeah, I could write that up.
Yeah, just so long as I don't get held responsible for it.
Right.
Yeah. Do whatever you want. Just take me out of the mix. Okay.
I'll take all the credit and none of the responsibility.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly. That's pretty much it. Okay, so before with Ron Kleiss, we closed up the whole show, but then I realized, well, it would be backwards if we put Ron Kleiss's segment second and yours first. So now we're going to we did the whole email and website thing and all that. So we're going to have to do it all again. So you didn't hear it in the Ron Kleiss part because I cut it. I edited. That was me. I spent hours editing that first segment. So, Bruce, could you give out our email address?
Yes, our email address. Please let us know what you think of this absolutely wonderful idea, and how many copies of the video you would like to buy from Ron, and how many kits you would like to buy from Ron. Our email address is modelerslife, modelers with one L, modelerslife@gmail.com.
And there seemed to be the first segment when you did the email address, there seemed to be some sort of controversy between you and Tom Jacobs. And what was that all about? Do we know?
Well, I believe one of the episodes I listened to, Tom was sort of slagging me, saying that I was taking not enough excitement or care or whatever for the email address, and not being witty with one L like loser and not two L's like Loletta or something like that, So, but hey, give it to them straight, factual. That's all they need. Because there's it's one L like, geez, I don't know what it is now. I can't figure it out because he's got all that.
Yeah, there you go. Tom, your rebuttal?
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Hey, so when can we expect the first Facebook Live video from the Reading Cross line?
Stay tuned.
Okay.
And that's very non-committal.
And that's in a 20 by 36 foot building?
It is.
And then when you subtract the inside wall interiors, you're looking at about 18 feet 10 inches by 34 feet 10 inches?
Yep. You got it. 18 and a half by 34 and a half. Yep.
Okay. And you'll have to measure exactly. We're going to have to get that exact measurement. 2 floors, 1 floor?
2 floors.
Okay. How many steps going up to that second level? Like 10, 12?
4.
Okay.
You got the escalator put in yet?
Yeah. Not yet.
Hey, what about one of those chairs that goes up on a rail beside the...
A chairlift? No, I don't think so.
The Acorn chairlift.
Yeah.
I'm surprised how little it costs.
Just think what you could do in that space in N-scale.
Oh, my God.
Right. That's true.
Oh, my God. But sometimes all you guys got to get out to the Colorado Railroad Museum and see that thing. Holy mackerel. The building was built specifically for a model railroad, and there's the duck unders. You go downstairs, down like 3 or 4 steps, walk a few feet, and go up 3 or 4 steps, and it was poured into the concrete into the floor. It's unbelievable.
That's fantastic. Yeah,
it really is. Okay, so Ron, do you think you can handle the exit here?
Well, considering how terrible my last attempt was, I think I am prepared.
Can I interrupt?
You certainly may.
You're going to tell them about the website?
Yeah, as soon as you started to say something, I realized what had happened.
All right.
So anyways, we have a website, modelerslife.com. If you go to this website and the front page has been redone, and you scroll down just a little bit, especially if you're on your phone, it looks really good on your phone.
It does look great on the phone.
And you scroll down to the second thing, you're going to see a picture of Bruce, the moderately agitated male boy, in a particularly agitated state. If you click on that picture, you will immediately be taken to sending an email, and you won't even have to know the address. So it's like foolproof. So that's, and then you just keep scrolling.
That's foolproof with 1 L.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Ron, do you know what else is there on there if you scroll down just a little bit further?
I think they're going to find a picture of my handsome face and a link to a little YouTube channel called Ron's Trains and Things.
There you go. And any idea what the things are? Have you discovered that yet, or?
Well, it depends on what day you ask, but lately the things have been golden doodle puppies.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, very good.
There's nothing like somebody that is sunshine and puppies to make your day.
That's right.
Yeah. So I was thinking like Dr. Seuss thing 1 and thing 2 or something like that. But golden doodle puppies are better.
I responded to somebody who asked that on Facebook a month or so ago with some pictures I had taken at a parade of 1/2 life-size Star Wars ships, a TIE fighter in particular, that said, these are the things for this week. So,
Oh, beautiful.
Sweet. All right. So remember, a Modeler's Life podcast is considered marginally adequate by 6 out of 10
queso cowboys.
Portions of this podcast was sponsored by Pakalana Inn. Pakalana Inn is located on the Big Island of Hawaii in historic and beautiful downtown Hilo. Our 5 bedrooms are recently renovated and feature modern conveniences of home. Every room has a view and the staff is
marginally adequate.
Check us out at pakalanainn.com.
It's another Lincoln Homer.